Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Baseline Banter. It's the long-awaited episode. How are you, Dad?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm fantastic. A lot's
I
been
like the
going on.
hair. I like what's going on with the hair.
Oh, yeah, that's new.
Yep,
The
looks
last
really
time
good.
I was blonde slash ginger slash the color of your shirt,
Yeah.
and now
Which
I'm.
is, what would you say this is, salmon or orange?
Hey, maybe you got to adjust the camera because we can't see the Lacoste logo.
Yeah,
How do
that's no
people know
good.
you're wearing Lacoste if they can't see it?
How are we going to do that? Got to go back? No.
Well, you just pull the screen down. Whatever you want.
Anyway, this is fine. It's there. You know it's there.
Yeah, it's
The
Lacoste.
crocodile is there. By the way,
Look,
I
by
don't,
the
I
way,
don't know
he's
if
not sponsored, Lacoste. Send
yeah,
him a
I don't know
sponsor.
if the viewers know this, but it's not an alligator, it's a crocodile. You
I'm
know
not
why
sure
it's
they
a
knew that. I'm
crocodile?
not sure.
It's a little trivia for you.
Yeah.
Because Rene Lacoste, the famous French tennis player, Davis Cup player, he got a new set of crocodile luggage,
Yeah.
hence his nickname, the Cocodrilo. So when he started the clothing line, his insignia was a crocodile. So
Because he loved his
don't call it
luggage?
an alligator, it's a crocodile.
Is it because he loved his luggage?
Yeah, he loved those, he loved the new luggage.
Yeah.
You
And he
can't
was one
blame
of the
him.
guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but back when he was playing, there was only about 4 or 5 guys who were making decent money, and he was one of them back in those days, right?
Yeah, nobody made money out of tennis.
When do you think that started?
With the professional tennis
Like now
players.
you'd say the
Well,
top 100 make a good living, right?
maybe even more than that, maybe even the top 200.
Yeah.
But in those days, there was money under the table called appearance fees. So when you saw, I don't know, when you saw John Newcomb or Tony Roach or Rod Laver coming to Toronto, they would get money, but not very much. And it was all
Yeah.
under the table. There's no prize money.
And there's no brand endorsements like there is today with marketing and advertising and
No,
all of
no,
that.
nothing like that.
Yeah.
They actually played because they loved playing tennis. They loved the lifestyle.
Do you
They loved
think,
competing.
because back in your competitive days, there wasn't like it was pretty similar. Prize money, correct me if I'm wrong, was like just starting, but guys still weren't making a good living, right? But when you were when you were my age in your prime,
So when I played the Canadian Open, which was 1967,
yeah.
there's no prize money.
Mm.
Guys that won it didn't win prize money. It was all under
Really,
this.
if you won the whole thing, like that turned into the National Bank Open. Now I don't know what the prize money is. Like, oh, you know,
Well, now it's big.
but now it's big. You win at least a couple 100,000, right?
No,
If you're the
even
men's
more than
winner.
that because the Toronto one is that series like Madrid and etc. There's big money in that. I
Yeah.
don't I, I don't know it off the top of my head, but it could be as much as $1 million for winning it.
Men's singles champion, $915,295
And that's US, by the way.
USD.
It's all US. Yep.
So back in your day, what do you think the
Nothing.
prize money? Zero?
I think it was zero. Yep.
Wow. So do you think if the
I may
prize,
be wrong there. I can't guarantee that.
so where did you end up? Did you round of 16 you lost when you played that?
In that tournament was the round of 16. Yep.
Okay, so let's see, because that turned into the National Bank Open. So let's see if you were playing today, how much you would have won.
I'd say 250.
250,000?
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know where I could
It's
find
round
that.
of 16 losers. See what they
Round of
got.
16 loser. Round of 16 National Bank Open men's singles loser prize money. Let's see if anything comes up with that. No, it's too specific of a search to you got to do a little bit of research, but
You'd have to go prize money for the National Bank Open. And then
yeah,
it'll probably
I
list it.
don't want to spend too much time, but
No.
let's
We got a lot of things to talk about.
you
You
have a
want
lot of things to
to on
talk about, but
that?
let's just say you would have made a decent chunk of change.
Yep.
Do you think if the prize money situation was like it is now, would you have made more of an effort then to be playing on the tour back in your
Probably
heyday?
not. Because it's not a good gamble.
Really?
Yeah, I was teaching, I was getting into it full time and
Yeah.
administrating, etc.
But
That
you were right there. Let's say you got round to 16, you took home whatever it was,
that
200 grand. You wouldn't
yeah,
say to
that was
yourself, hey, let's
that,
hunker down and get more of this money. It's pretty
that
good.
might have been it might have been an anomaly though. That one tournament.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but were you actually at that time 100% focused in training to make sure your
No,
tennis game was on point?
no, I went to school.
So how could you say it was a fluke? It was an anomaly. You weren't
Yeah.
even fully
No,
committed.
but whatever it was, it's not
You're
like I was
fully
doing it every
committed.
week.
I mean,
It
the
wasn't
money
like I was
wasn't there,
doing it
but
every week.
yeah.
Yeah.
So where did we leave off last time? Let's get into what's going on in the tour.
Okay. Well, we went.
You can see my screen here.
My guy beat
Well, you
Djokovic.
you were right. You were right.
Yeah.
You had you had Alcaraz winning Monte Carlo, right?
Yeah, but even before that, I had Mensik having a good chance to beat Djokovic, which he did.
And you had Alcaraz. So you were right when it came to Monte Carlo. I had
Yep.
Joker. He
Hmm.
couldn't do it. Holger Rune, this is start of the clay season. Holger Rune took home Barcelona. Zverev won in Munich.
And the Joker lost today.
Let's see. Let's go over the results. So we have today, yep, Arnaldi beating the Joker 6-3, 6-4 in an hour 40 minutes. Did you
Yeah.
see the match?
I didn't see the match, but I know the
I
Joker's
saw
best
bits and
surface is
pieces.
not clay.
Of course, yeah.
And it's very early in the clay court season.
And that's gonna, well, yeah. I mean, the French
There,
Open's creeping
but
up.
there again, the
In the
Joker,
next month.
you know, he's better if it's a 3 out of 5 setter.
For sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
he's in great shape. He's still in great shape, but we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. Should be interesting. Should be very
Um,
interesting.
let's see if we can get the bracket. I like the bracket draws. Yeah, there we go. I like the bracket showing. Okay, so now we're on there's no more round of 64 matches to go. That's all finished, right?
Yeah,
No
I
more
think so.
64. That's all done. Okay, let's go over the big things, right? Rune pulled out. Rune withdrew. Do you know what happened to him?
No.
Okay, let's see this.
But see, these guys now, you're going to see guys pulling out because they've got to be in shape for the
Yeah, this
French.
one little thing happens, they're going to be
They want to be in top shape.
Look at this headline. Flashscore.com. Fragile physique returns to haunt Holger Rune as he withdraws. Fragile
Fragile
physique.
physique
Fragile physique.
looks,
Meanwhile,
looks pretty good.
meanwhile, the guy writing this probably has the fragile physique, but
I'm sure he does.
compared to Rune, but
I'm sure
you
he
know.
does.
But yeah, right quad injury. So he probably had some tightness, probably felt something pulling, or maybe he did have
Yeah.
a pull
He's
muscle.
not, it's not worth it for him.
It's
He's
not
got to
worth
be
it. It's
ready for
not
the
worth
French.
risking anything at this point.
Right, exactly.
But let's look ahead. Let's look ahead at what's to come. Let's look ahead. Zverev versus Fokina. I got Zverev in that one
Yeah, for sure.
for sure. Ah, you know how to pronounce this one? I don't want to get it wrong. Cerundolo,
I think so. Saren,
Cherundolo, or Cerundulo?
no, Sarandolo.
Argentinian.
It's because it's Spanish.
Yeah. Two Argentinians.
Who's the other one? Baez?
Comsana. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Comsana. I'd go with Cerundolo in that one
because you haven't heard of the other guy.
because I haven't heard of the other guy, and
Me too.
I've barely heard of Cerundolo. But Shelton versus Mensik. That will be a very interesting one, I think.
I'd go against Mensik. I think Mensik He's just a fast court player, my view.
That would be interesting because, I don't know how good Shelton is on clay. Don't think he's necessarily.
That's probably not his best surface either.
Okay, this is a good one. Rublev versus Bublik. I think it will be a good showdown. I'd give it to Rublev, obviously, but I think it'll be a good showdown. I love watching Bublik play. I think he's one of the most underrated guys on the tour right now. He's fully capable of being, a top 20, top 15.
Talent-wise, with all these players, talent-wise, they're all really good.
Yeah,
The only thing is that, what about the head? What's going on in their head?
right. I mean, Rublev is one of those guys too that's like he's a victim of that. He's not cool, calm, and collected. I think, Sinner, one of the reasons why he's went to the top is because he has that. He has the head game, right?
Yeah.
He has his head game down pat.
By the way, remind me to go back to center once we finish with this.
Sure. Fritz over Bonzi. You agree? Stop me if you disagree.
No, I agree.
Okay. Korda over, no, Rude over Korda. Medvedev over,
Yes.
what is this? Because Cerundolo, didn't we just have a
There's
Cerundolo?
two of them.
There's two of them. Are they
Yeah,
brothers or what are they?
they're brothers. But I don't know if they're twins or
Nakashima
not.
over
I know
Kubota.
they're brothers.
Draper and Berrettini. Ooh,
Who's this one?
Draper and Berrettini. That's one to take a look at.
Yeah, I go Berrettini on the clay.
Me too. Me too. Draper had a good win versus Greek Spore though. Tiafo over Mueller.
Probably.
Arnaldi coming in hot over Djokovic. Could Zoomer? Who's Zoomer? Who's
Oh,
this?
that guy.
You know this guy, Zoomer?
Nobody looks pretty skinny.
He looks pretty serious, eh?
Yeah, he's serious and skinny, but
What would you recommend? 10 sets of 10 on the bench press for him?
you could do sets of 10, but a very lightweight, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. Very lightweight for him. Timonar versus our very own Chapo.
Ooh, I go with de Minaur.
Same thing. Same thing with me. I'd say Timonar, but
I hate to
obviously we
go
want
against a
Chapo.
fellow Canadian, but still,
Obviously we want Chapo. I mean, Chapo can do it. I think that's a good stylistic matchup for him. He's not Diminar doesn't have too much firepower to overwhelm Chapo. Both are speedy guys. It all depends where Chapo's head's at.
yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Tsitsipas versus Musetti, that's a great matchup.
Ooh,
Again, Tsitsipas is one of those guys too. It depends where his head's at.
yeah, you don't know which Tsitsipas is going to show
Yeah.
up.
I'd bank on Tsitsipas. It's clay. I think Tsitsipas is pretty good on clay.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe very
Musetti's good on clay
narrowly
too. But
and
I'd go
narrowly.
Tsitsipas. I'd love to see him get far in this one. Who do you want?
I'll
Who
go
do you
with him.
think's gonna win?
Yeah, I'll go with Tsitsipas.
Dimitrov over Fearnley. I'd go Dimitrov.
Yeah,
Nori and Diallo. What's LL? What does that stand for here? LL in brackets beside Diallo's name.
LL.
Yeah, let's look that up. What is LL in a tennis bracket?
Diallo's good, a young, very tall guy.
A lucky loser.
Oh, lucky loser, yeah. So in other words, if you lose in the qualifying, you may still get in. Somebody defaults or something, so there's an
Yeah.
open spot,
Oh,
so they make a draw.
lucky loser. That's funny. I've never actually heard about that.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
I
I know
just didn't
you
know
have.
that LL meant that.
Lucky loser. Okay, the
Mhm.
lucky loser Diallo versus Nori. Fellow Canadian, I can't root against a fellow Canadian. I'm
I'm going to
going
go with him
Diallo.
too. He's good. Diallo's good, very
He's good.
tall.
He's got a lot of potential. He could be the next big thing in Canadian tennis, I think, even surpassing Felix and Chapo. He's got a lot of potential. He's just got to stay healthy and young guy, 23, so good player. I think he played in Kentucky, played D1 at Kentucky too, so
Hmm.
NCAA guy. Who do you have winning the tournament? Let's get your prediction for Madrid.
With all those guys, you know who's left that I can maybe Zverev.
I go Zverev too. I mean,
There's no other big
he's the
guns in it.
favorite. And do you have? Let's get your dark horse. A dark horse prediction to win the whole thing.
I'll go dark horse prediction. Christian Rude.
Very
Is that
good.
right?
I'm gonna go because I like the guy, even though he's very good looking, so he's easy to hate, but I like the guy. I'm gonna go Matteo Berrettini to win the whole thing.
All right, good enough.
He's been on a hot streak recently, and I think he's got a good chance.
All right, good. Why don't we get to Sinner while we have time?
Sure. What's
Okay,
what are
so
your
here's the
thoughts on
thing. We
Sinners?
decided, I think, in baseline banter one, that we both agreed that it has to be some kind of punishment for Sinner, but it should be at the discretion of the judges what the punishment will be. And I think we both thought that he didn't do it on purpose. He was genuinely surprised, and there's no malice behind it. There's no trying to cheat behind it. So I think that was fair what they dished out, a 3-month penalty. Okay,
Yeah,
now, so here's what I wanted to mention. Now he's back. He's coming back for the Italian, and he's going to play the French. If none of this ever happened, I think he would be the odds-on favorite to win the French.
right.
Now, what do you think?
I'd love to see him do it. I don't think he's the favorite anymore. I think a lot will depend on this tournament. A lot will
Well,
depend on Madrid.
and a lot will depend on how he does in the Italian,
Yeah.
if he's still looking good. But I go with him. I always go with the champion unless somebody beats him, of course.
Yeah, of course it's going to
I think,
matter.
and what's he been doing for the last 3 months? I'm sure he's been practicing and training very hard because nothing was wrong with him.
I don't think 3 months is going to make a difference because his training routine is going to be good. I'm sure he's practicing with a few pros. I'm sure he's not taking this time off. I'm sure he's playing on clay.
Yeah, I'm
I
going
don't
to
think
go.
it's going to make much of a difference, to be honest.
Okay. So my
I think
prediction is he's going to win it.
obviously if you have, Zverev doing very well in this tournament, him doing well in Rome, I think Zverev's on track to be the favorite going into the Roland Garros.
Yeah, but also again, we're discounting
Alcaraz.
Alcaraz. It depends. I mean, Alcaraz,
It's
he's
hot and
playing his
cold though.
normal game and loose. He can win it.
He's hot and cold. I have a big problem betting on someone who's hot and cold like that.
Well, don't bet. Just make the prediction.
Yeah, I didn't know you were gonna say that. Yeah, why don't you lower your screen a little bit? Because it looks kind of funny. My head's all the way
Is
up
it like
here and
this?
yours is like down here. There you
Like
go.
that?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
How's that?
It's
Beautiful.
better.
Can you see the crocodile?
Not quite. Not quite. Maybe do a calf raise. Oh, now I can kind of see it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, it should be interesting.
So do you think
Alcaraz, you
now
can't count,
answer your own question. Do you think Sinner's the favorite going into
but I think
the
he's going to
French?
win. He may not be the favorite because I don't know how the betting goes when
That would
he's
be
been out for
huge.
3 months.
It's like Novak coming in and being off for whatever he was off during COVID, and then he came back and won Wimbledon. I don't think it's going to be quite as big as that because that was huge, but I think
But
it's
I think also young, like Sinner's young, right? I don't think it's as good. Djokovic, we can't, he's an exception because he's in such good shape.
and the
Generally,
experience.
when an older guy takes a year or two off, it's going to be very tough to come back. When a younger guy takes a few months off, I think he's going to come back strong.
But the counterpunch to that is Joker has a ton of experience. So it's not like he's got years and years of doing this. Sinner's been the top for the past couple years. He doesn't have a 15-year inventory to go back on like Djokovic does.
Well, I don't know if he's going to need it, but
I
I
don't
would
think
still,
I don't think he'll need it anyway,
yeah,
but
I'd still go with Sinner.
yeah, yeah.
With my
It's not like
second choice, my
it's not like
second
here
choice.
it's not like Kyrgios when he took that time off for his injury and came back because he didn't have the best mental game to begin with. And he took longer than
Are you
Sinner did.
sure? Are you sure?
Sinner, Sinner, Sinner has the mental aspect to stay focused, stay on his routine. 3 months, he's probably saying to himself, all right, what's the difference? I would
Great, I've rested my body.
skip a few turns. Yeah, it could be good. So I would be more worried if he already was, struggling in the mental game, which obviously we don't know what's going on in his head, but all indicators point to he's very stable mentally. So, obviously I think he'd rather be playing, but I don't think it'll make that much of a difference.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be interesting.
Okay, I have a very special segment here. We're going to get into some tennis fashion.
Oh,
Okay.
beautiful.
I've pulled up a few pictures from across the internet. I'd love to get your impression. You're repping the Lacoste. You mentioned Rene Lacoste to begin with. So it's only right we start the segment with this image here. Can you see it?
Oh, look at that, huh?
Yep. So he's obviously playing on grass there, it looks like. Looks like it's grass.
Maybe he's got the spike
He's
shoes.
got spiked shoes. He's got his slacks. He's got, his belt, collared shirt, of course, a nice beret. What do you make of that?
I don't know if that's exactly a beret.
It
And why
is
is he playing with a squash racket?
a squash racket. What are you talking about?
Look at the size of the head.
I know.
I'm just kidding. It's not a squash racket. I go with,
That
I
was
think,
such a good joke. It went right over my head.
I think,
Such a good
the
joke.
guy-
I didn't even laugh.
I think the guy looks great. I mean,
Would you?
I love the hat. I love that touch.
I know. Didn't you play a tournament in a beret one time?
Well, I used to play every tournament in a beret. But first of all, I had the different ones. First of all, I played in what's called a buena.
Yeah.
That's like that Spanish black beret thing. And I did that for a year or two.
Yeah.
Went into a beret.
Were
The
you
only
known to say,
player
oh,
that ever played in that stuff.
here comes Michael Zimmerman. Who? The guy in the beret. Oh yeah,
Oh
I
yeah, him, Tim.
remember.
Anyways, I like that. I like that outfit for its time. It's very
Yeah.
stylish, wearing slacks, good hat. I'd give him 8 out of 10 for style.
8 out of 10. I gotta go. I've just for that time period and everything, and compared to what the guys are wearing now, I gotta go a 9 out of 10 for me. I
Yeah, it's
love that.
very, very highly rated.
I love
Exactly.
that. All right.
By the way, look how he's concentrating on the ball there too.
Here we have Rene Lacoste again. I had to pull up because speaking of crocodile, here we have
Yep.
one of his
Big
early
crocodile.
insignias there. See the crocodile. Looks like Wimbledon's got his three wooden rackets there,
And
accepting the cup, dressed in all
he's
white.
and he's got the blazer, right?
He's got his blazer on to accept the trophy.
By the way, you know who brought that back? Dale Power, who was, I think, 7 times Canadian champion, unfortunately passed away this year.
Oh,
But
that's too
Dale
bad. I
Power
didn't
used
know
to wear
that.
a tweed sport jacket out to the
Yeah,
tennis court. That was great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got to bring that back, the sport jacket at the tennis club.
No, that's good. I
Right.
mean, I give him a 9 out of 10 for this outfit.
Oh, because I gave a 9 out of 10 last time, and I like this even better. I'm going to go 9.2 out of 10 for this
Yeah.
outfit.
Yeah. Plus, he just got a haircut, which he's showing off, so he's not wearing the hat.
Yeah. Yeah. There's Rene Lacoste and a few years on. And I especially wanted to pick up poster like look, he's got the crocodile on the wall behind
Yeah.
him
Hmm.
and two
Where
distinct tennis rackets there he's holding up. You ever come across either of these?
um is that a Schnauert, I wonder, the one on the irregularly shaped head?
The irregularly one? No, that looks like it's stenciled in as you know what? It might be an S. Yeah,
Oh,
that might be an S there. Yeah,
yep, I'm not talking. Yeah, the but the frame. You see how it's kind of squiggly?
yeah. No, it's a Lacoste. That's a
Oh, they're
crocodile.
both Lacoste. They're
It's a
both Lacoste.
Lacoste. You see, it says Lacoste
Yeah,
there.
but I don't know if they're really Lacoste, but
Right.
yeah.
I don't know
Anyways, yeah,
what
I
this.
like that. Like that. He looks good in his own Lacoste,
Yeah.
button done up right to the top.
Right. It's a good
Beautiful.
style. It's a good
Yeah.
style. I got to give
Very-
him a 9.2 again.
Yeah.
Fashion icon, Rene Lacoste. What do you give this?
I don't know how it's very plain. Like you can't see what kind of pants he's wearing. He's not wearing a beret. It's just a Lacoste shirt. So if you want to judge it just based on the shirt, it's got to be a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you give yourself with just the Lacoste shirt?
Well, I'm off the
You're setting
charts because
yourself up there.
in all these podcasts, you'll never see me duplicate a color.
Oh, what if we have 100 podcasts? Are you going to be?
I'll have to buy another five shirts.
You'll Fair enough. All right.
Whoa!
All right. We got Bjorn Borg. I don't know what year this is. I'm assuming this is a Wimbledon finals.
He's wearing Fila.
Well, Bjorn is wearing Fila. We got Sergio Tacchini. Is that how you pronounce?
Zucchini, that was the other. In those days, because I wore them both, but in those days, the two biggies were Zucchini and Fila,
Yeah.
both obviously Italian manufacturers. And I see they both have the headbands, they both have the big hair. The shorts are really short.
Yeah.
So if you're asking me my personal taste,
And the hair.
yeah. Well,
Look at
I don't
Bjorn's
like
hair
guys.
matted down over his.
Yeah, I
Look
don't
at
like
it.
guys with hair. So
You don't like guys with hair.
no, I'm marking them down because of that.
So okay, yeah. Let's well,
So I mean, I don't love that look, but it's not bad, So, and for the day, nice form-fitting jackets. I'll give them a seven each.
yeah, 7 each. This is iconic though. This is so iconic.
It is.
My ratings are like the Canada's, well, I guess in the world's economic situation, they're inflated. I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10.
Oh, really? Wow.
I love it. I love it. I love the hair. I love the headband, the short shorts. Look at the style of shoes, the socks pulled up high on
You
Johnny Mac.
know, it's hard to compare because
Like I love it.
You see Lacoste with the slacks and the beret, and
Yeah,
that's just more
yeah.
stylish. I mean,
And
it's
this was the
like
80s, late 70s, 80s boom of tennis. I mean, this is what inspired it. The style, the personality. It's
it's
iconic.
like it's like Sinatra versus Steven Tyler. I
Yeah.
mean, Sinatra was the classy guy, and Steven Tyler was, whatever he was.
Yeah, I know. These guys are, you're so right. You got Rene Lacoste, classic, slacks, collared shirt. These guys are like, they were the rock stars. They were the rock
That's
stars
correct. Exactly correct.
of tennis,
I
right?
agree.
So
Yep.
we got Bjorn there with the jacket off, with the
Yeah.
white tennis ball. Look at that tennis ball, the white tennis ball
Look at
before it
this
turned
again. Look at
yellow.
the small racket head. That's a
That's
Dane racket that
precision.
he's using.
Yeah, takes a certain level of precision. When's the last time you hit with a wooden racket, Dad?
Years ago, and I was terrible. I'm not
I'm
talking
pretty
about.
good if I toot
I'm
my
not.
own horn. I played with the wooden racket, not this last, actually, it might have been this last summer. I did play with the wooden racket. I was pretty good. I'm usually a two-y, but I went with a one-y backhand, and I was pretty good with that, with the wooden racket. I liked it.
Yeah, it's much different. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I'm trying to, at my new club, I'm going to try to promote and get going a wood racket tournament for the
Yeah,
memberships.
that's always fun.
Yeah, yeah, I can't
Just have
wait.
to find enough wood brackets.
Yeah,
But I like that outfit because it's form fitting and he looks very athletic in that
yeah,
outfit. I'm going to
yeah.
give that a 9.
I give it a 9 too. We're on the same page.
Mhm.
Do you know who this is?
Who is this guy?
That is Yannick Noah, Joakim Noah's father.
Yep, that's Yannick Noah, and Yannick Noah was very young there too.
Yep. Look at that
Um,
style. You got the dreadlocks there.
by
You
the
got
way, speaking of Yannick Noah, here's some trivia. Yannick
The
Noah
style.
came out with an album in France,
Yeah,
a record album,
yeah,
and I have it. Yannick Noah singing. He was pretty good too.
yeah, he's a talented guy.
He won the French. That was a won the French one year.
Yeah,
No, and France loved it. But speaking of the outfit, he's got a referee's shirt. You know, you see those striped shirts,
yeah. I
but it's a matching wristband, which is kind of nice.
It's outlandish. I go 7.5.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I go six. I'm not crazy about it.
Yeah, he's showing
I
off those
appreciate,
ripped quads though.
yeah, I appreciate the style.
He's showing off you should look at those quads. It's not an ounce of body fat on this guy.
No,
He's
none of these guys.
crazy.
What's a stencil on his strings?
I don't know what is that.
I don't know what
Not
that
letting
is.
me zoom in right now, but I don't know what racket that is.
Anyways,
Can't really
I
see
don't
it.
know either. Maybe
Leave a
some.
comment, guys, if you know what racket that is.
Yep.
Well,
Okay, beautiful.
okay. It's- there we go. Now it's zooming in.
It's early Agassi with the wig.
With the wig and the jean shorts, the denim short shorts.
Um, he's got his own style, so I'm not going to mark him down too
It's
much.
icon it's iconic, but not my thing. 7.8 out of 10.
Six. Notice now, compared to Bjorg's form-fitting shirt,
Yeah,
look at his Agassi's
it was a
baggy.
looser style.
Yeah.
Yeah, not my favorite. Nothing good. It doesn't compare to the Johnny and Bjorn wardrobe. Here we have Agassi probably in the, I want to say, late 90s, late 90s.
Shirt's too big for him.
Shaved the hair, baggy look, bandana, goatee.
I'm going to be generous and give him a five.
I'm gonna go. I Not my favorite look. Still kind of iconic though. I'm gonna go 7. 7 out of 10.
You're very generous. I wish you were
I,
marking my exams in high
I
school.
like the band. I like the bandana. You know who that is?
No good arms though for a skinny guy. Who is that? Roddick?
Young. He's probably younger than me at this time.
That Roddick?
Yeah, it's Roddick. I think that was the year he won the US Open. He came out when he was whatever, 21, 22 maybe, won the US Open.
He's got the visor,
His only slam win. And that hair spiked up, used a whole tube of gel, probably,
and it
and
looks like
spiked
he's
up
wearing a
that.
t-shirt, which I
I
never like.
Are we including the hairstyle
We shouldn't really,
in the
but I guess
look?
it's a fashion statement
If
too,
it's a
so you can't
fashion
really.
statement, I think we should. If we're including the hairstyle, I'm gonna go 8 out of 10. If we're not, I'm gonna go 7 out of 10.
I'm sticking with the sixes.
6? You're a
Yep,
much harsher judge than me. You're very
I
critical
am.
of the
I am.
fashion.
I'm a
You're fashionista when
traditionalist,
it
more of
comes
a
to tennis.
traditionalist when it comes to tennis. Oh boy.
We got Nadal with the over the knees, 3/4 shorts, sleeveless.
Okay,
Young. This
this
is
is my
iconic though.
this is my own particular thing. I can't stand sleeveless for a tennis player.
Fair enough.
So I'm gonna have to but it is a matching headband and shirt. He's got his own style with the shirt, so I can give him a four.
Can't I? 4? Really?
Yep. So I can't stand sleeveless for a
This
tennis
is
player.
iconic though. Everyone knows Nadal during his prime years, had that cut off in the 3/4 pants.
I got to go with my opinion on the outfit, with as a standalone.
Here's my thing. It's on Nadal. We know him this is what he wore during his prime. If he was a bad player, we'd mark him down. But I think just the whole persona of here comes Nadal battling Federer in these times. He's probably getting the leg up on Federer during these years. I would venture to say this is, just after Federer's prime, maybe like 2007 through 10, Nadal wore this stuff. 7.5 out of
Oh
10.
boy. Well,
It's not something I would wear. I respect it. It's iconic.
this is my own particular thing. Once it's sleeveless, it gets marked way down, as
Yeah,
far as I'm concerned. Okay.
but he has the muscle to back it up. That doesn't make a difference to you?
No, no.
Venus
You know
Williams.
what? Speaking of this, because now we've seen a woman here, right? That I've got a question from one of our viewers who
Yeah,
said, "Why is everything all about men here? You don't discuss the women's draw. You don't discuss anything about the women, which we might have to do a little more next time."
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Venus, is it?
Venus Williams, 2011 French Open, I want to say, with her lingerie type outfit. To me, this is no go. This is
Yeah,
no
this is like
no
a kind of
no
like a
go.
flapper's outfit too, from
I,
the
I don't get it.
20s or something.
I don't get it.
I got,
This is like something you'd wear maybe to the bar if you're 19 years old, and I, I don't know. I really don't get what she was going with this look. You know,
I don't know, I give it a three.
I give it a I give it a three too.
Okay.
You know, I like tennis wear. I don't know what that is, but
And that's, I like Venus Williams anyway, but that outfit.
now this isn't really outfit. This is hairstyle. I've changed my
We're
hairstyle
going to
recently as
hairstyle
well.
now?
Andy Murray, young Andy Murray, needed a
Holy
haircut.
mackerel.
What do you make of that hairstyle?
Well, being a bald guy myself, with no hair, I find it difficult to rate, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting look.
Meanwhile, he's mid-shot here, so the hair is flailing.
Yeah.
So it didn't
Well,
doesn't
because
sit like this.
because it's Andy
Saving
Murray,
grace.
because it's Andy Murray with that hairstyle, I got to give him an eight on hairstyle.
This is going to be our greatest discrepancy. I absolutely hate this. I would give it a three. I think this is terrible.
Yeah.
This is
I
terrible.
think, I think
I think
it's
at this point in time, he was earning enough money to go pay whatever it is, $30 to the barber and get a nice
well,
haircut.
it's a better look than when he had his hair where you could see that stuff on his neck. Remember that?
He didn't get his neck trimmed.
He didn't get his neck trimmed. He does
Yeah.
it now though, but he didn't get it trimmed. But I kind
Speaking
of
speaking of and okay, you're giving it a what did you give it?
I gave it an eight because
Oh my
it's
God,
Andy
you're
Murray with an
delusional. 8 out
unusual
of
look.
10 for
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of Andy Murray and a trim, I don't know
There it
what
is.
tournament this is. This is Andy Murray giving himself a haircut mid-match. He gave himself a trim because the hair was in his eyes,
Do I see a
bothering
bit of
him.
do I see a bit of a bald spot back there?
Maybe a little bit. I don't know. I think, you lose hair over
Why is he
time.
why is his hair a different color in each picture?
I'm more focused on he decided he's gonna give himself a haircut mid-match,
Well, is
hairs
there
in your
points for that? Trying to get groomed in mid-match?
Oi, oi, oi. Yeah.
Well, I think
Look
it's
at
fun.
this.
I don't
I
think
can't
it's
stand
rateable,
these
but I think it's
wristbands.
funny.
Look at this long his wristbands are. They're covering half his lower arm.
Yeah. I guess he uses more to wipe his forehead, so he wants the bigger one.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. Comfort thing. Okay. Federer. Look at the cardigan.
Oh, I
Wimbledon.
love it. I love it. Classic.
Coming out with the cardigan for the warm-ups.
Beautiful.
I
I'm
give
giving
it,
him a nine for that outfit,
I give
Federer.
him a 9 too.
Now, Nadal,
Classy,
of course,
classy.
is sleeveless with, I don't know what those shorts. Oh, no, that's because of the net. He's behind the net, right?
He's probably still maybe three-quarter court, three-quarter court.
Yeah. But I can't
Three-quarter
see
short.
that. So I can't see that. I can't mark him down for that.
Yeah.
But I can mark him down for the sleeveless shirt. I'll give him a seven. It's a more form-fitting on the top. Looks good
Yeah.
with the headband. Seven.
Yeah. I mean, Federer trumps him in the outfit department in this matchup, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's classic. Classic.
Now, different year, I believe. Roger coming out in this jacket and warm-up suit at Wimbledon. He's got the like Dr. No type collar type outfit, like Bond villain, Bond villain look. Because it's Roger, it's a weird outfit. I'm not a huge fan of the outfit. I guess I got to kind of try to separate that it's Roger. I love Roger. I got to give it like a 6 out of 10. Not a fan of this one.
Well, I like it. I give it an
Really?
eight. I give it an eight. So I
With
love the
all,
blazer type thing. That is your jacket, isn't it?
yeah. I don't know. I'm not a huge
Nice
fan with all
slacks
the
also.
pockets and everything. It's
Nice slacks.
different. It's different. I can see the 8 out of 10. Maybe if I was in a different mood, maybe it's mood dependent. I might give it a
Yeah,
higher rating, but
yeah, well, it's
okay.
unusual.
But this is where it comes together. This is the same fine. This is the same day, 2009 Wimbledon.
What's that, a vest?
He takes off. This is the same outfit. He takes off the jacket, and that's what's underneath. A vest, a Nike vest.
Well, just for the unusual thing, I got to give that a 10.
I got a 10. That
Yeah,
means 10 means there's nothing better. You give it a 10?
yeah, there's nothing. I give it for the being distinctive. I mean, look at that.
I give it a
He goes
9.5. I'm
straight,
a huge
goes
fan of
straight
that.
over to a wedding with that outfit.
I know he's just a wedding after he plays the finals. Oh man. And then, of course, he takes the blazer off and he keeps the vest on and he warms up in the vest.
Same thing. 10.
Naomi Osaka plays her match in this.
What are those ribbons coming down?
It's a bow. She has a giant bow on her back.
Well, it matches. So so she's going to get a 1 for that. I'm gonna give her a 2 for that outfit.
You know, just because this is so outlandish and I like the colors. I'm a fan of Naomi. I think, like I was a fan since US Open, being treated terribly by Serena in that finals, her being so young, and I respect her whole journey, her mental health stuff.
You can't rate
Completely
based
wrong.
on that. We're just rating the outfit, not if you like the
It's
person.
tough. I like Roger. I like her.
You got to distance yourself from that. We're just rating the clothes. That's why she got a 2.
Uh, I don't hate it that much though. It's a monstrosity of an outfit, but I don't hate it. 7 out of 10.
Oh my goodness.
It stands out. If the you know if the bow was 1/10 of the size, I would give it less of a rating. I would probably give it a 5 out of 10. But
It's
because
outlandish, that's for
it's
sure.
she put it on and she has this huge bow at the back. She's like, I'm making a statement with this. And because she went for the statement, like I went, what happened here? And because she went for the statement, like I went for the statement with my blonde hair, I go 7 out of 10 for
Well, I tell you, Teddy Tinling, the famous tennis apparel designer, would be turning over in his grave if he saw that.
you. What did he design? I don't even know that name.
I don't know either, but he was a famous tennis designer. He might have come up with the frilly panties, if I'm not mistaken.
The what?
Remember the women under their skirts used to have frilly tennis panties.
I don't remember that, but I'll
Well, you
trust
won't remember it because way before you were born, but it's still. Anyways, it's interesting.
the bad boy of tennis, the new and improved, well, not improved, the new bad boy 2.0. Of course, the
Well,
original's Johnny Mac.
well, I like Kyrgios.
Curios.
I like Kyrgios because Kyrgios gives a lot of spirit to the game. He makes it fun.
So now I'm gonna
Plus,
pull a U.
no, I'm no, but I'm not. I haven't
You gotta
rated it yet.
separate the guy from the
No, I know. I
clothes.
haven't rated it yet. I'm just making a comment about Kyrgios. Well, the outfit is not matching. Kind of a t-shirt with those green shorts.
Well, it's a tank top. He has a compression shirt underneath and a
Yeah.
loose tank top over the
Loose
compression.
tank top is even worse than a tight tank top.
Yeah, with the
I don't know. I'll
chains.
give him.
But he's got the chains and the backwards hat.
And the tattoos.
and the tattoo, but that's not part of the outfit. It's the whole style, though. He pulls it off. He pulls it off.
Okay,
I
I'm going to
think
give
that's what
him,
I was getting at when I
yeah,
talked about how I like Roger, I like Naomi, I like Nadal. It's part of it. It's part of your ability to pull off the outfit.
yes. I'm going to give him a 6 because of that.
I give him a 7.5. He pulls it off. Like if I was to wear it, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But Nick can pull it off. He can pull it off. So
Interesting.
he pulls it off.
Yeah.
What can you do? This is our last one. Okay, kind of Rafa style reinvigorated and Carlos here. He's showing off his flexibility there.
Yeah, but we're not rating on his flexibility. He's a good athlete.
No, I'm just stating it.
Okay. I like the shoes. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, the shoes
But
improve a
again,
little
that's that
bit.
stupid. You know what we used to call those tops? Singlets. We used to wear them for running, in the track team and
Yeah,
cross
yeah.
country, etc.
Singlet, I think, has to be a little tighter though, no?
Yeah, for sure. It should be tighter than that. It's a bad fit.
I
Um,
don't like it. A 6 out of 10. The shoes bring it up. Without the shoes, if they were basic shoes, it would be like 4 out of 10. I like the color shoes.
I'll give it a 5. It's
Yeah,
not great, but
yeah,
bear pass. Okay, 5 out of 10.
yeah. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that the fashion statement, the fashion segment. That was something a little different.
Well, I
So,
enjoyed it, I'll tell you.
yeah, no, it
I
was good.
enjoyed it. That
Great
was
seeing
great.
those all the different outfits. Great to get your opinion on them, Dad.
Yeah.
Um, if you want, if you we missed some that you guys think we should have covered, leave a comment. If you think our ratings were off, if you have a different opinion on the ratings, make sure you tell us. We'll be happy to get back to you and tell you. Maybe you'll have some good points. We'll maybe we'll read them off next time and we'll get back to you, answer your comments, of course. Anything you write, we'll try to get back to everybody. We love to interact with you guys. Now, for the next little part that I picked out, because I'm on Instagram all the time. You're not really on Instagram, but I picked out some cool videos, obviously tennis related videos. I'd love to get your reaction to them.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. Can you see my screen? It's a new screen for you.
I just see a picture of Alcaraz.
Okay. Let me change that up then. So now, hold on. Now, did it change or no?
No.
Okay. Maybe if I stop sharing, I'll stop sharing and share again. How are we doing on time, Dad? I don't want to take up too much of your time there.
I had another few minutes because we can always do another one,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. We still have, okay. So I have a few videos to show you. Maybe I'll show you one or two videos. And I did post on my Instagram if people have questions to send them in because I told them we're doing an episode tonight and I got 3 questions from my Instagram followers.
Good.
So I'd love to ask you them and get a response. But let me show you, 2 videos and then we'll get into the questions. So this is the first one, short video, Djokovic's big gloves explained. Okay.
Body temperature in like 30 seconds. By putting the gloves on. Put the gloves on. It cools down the blood supply. And I don't know why more people haven't been using it because the technology has been there for decades. But of course, Novak is way ahead of everybody when it comes to technology. Have you used those before? I have not used them. Yeah, they didn't have it in my day. No, but now they have it now, and it's magic. And I don't know why the tournaments don't really have it for all the players.
All right. So there you have it. Novak using gloves that he puts his hands in and
Are
they
they
cool
heated?
off. They cool off his hands. They're cold gloves. They cool off his hands, and as a result, they bring his body temperature down. And so he's been using them in certain tournaments when it's really hot. What are your thoughts? They're like why not have them for all the players if
Yeah.
this is the case?
I'm not sure about the scientific basis of cooling down your body temperature with something you wear on your hands. And
Yeah,
I know what players used to do. I think Lendl did this, where he had one of those hats and he put either cold water or ice inside the hat to cool down the body temperature.
that's smart too.
I don't know if the hands work that way.
Yeah, I don't know. My only thing with that is, look, I'm skeptical on it that it could bring down your whole body temperature. That's for
Correct.
sure. It
Correct.
might cool you off or give you a sensation that you're a little bit cold and or cooler and help you
Okay,
that way.
that's part A. Does it really work?
Yeah,
Part B is should they be provided with those at the tournament? And I say no.
yeah.
You want to get
I don't see the point because I'm very skeptical that it works. Another thing is a lot of players probably wouldn't want them. I'm sure if Sinner came to whatever the US Open and said, "Hey, I want some gloves." Sure, Yannick,
well,
no
mind you,
problem. You know, like
if the gloves had a crocodile on them, I'd probably get a pair.
yeah, you'd get it. So yeah, Lacoste, if you want to make Coach Mike there a pair of gloves, he'll take them. The other thing is they cool your hands, right? So like, do you want cold hands or cooler hands
I,
when you're
I don't
gripping the racket, when you're playing?
I don't know about that because I think that it would, you warm the hands up so you'll have more feel and it'll be more flexible.
Exactly.
I
That's
don't know if
another
you want
thing I had, you know.
frozen hands like this,
Yeah, yeah.
grip your
I don't
racket.
think you're putting them into like an igloo, but I think it's a little bit cold. But
I would
that was
think
my thought.
more would be more benefit if you had on the colder days, if you had warm gloves, put it on to warm
Yeah,
up
but
your hand.
what's the coldest temperature these guys are playing in, though?
Depends where the tournament is. I mean, if you're dealing with Fahrenheit, it could be in the 40s.
Yeah. Really? That cold?
I
What would
think
that be
so.
in Celsius? We're in Canada, so we got Celsius. What would that be?
Um,
40.
I don't know. It's probably 10 is 50. So yeah, maybe about call it
That
about 10.
cold? Really? What
Call it about
tournament is
10.
that?
10 is 50.
I don't know. Guys, if you know this information, you know, put it down. But yeah, that's what tournament? Do you know what tournament that would be, or it's just some fluke somewhere?
Some fluke somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Probably in England. One of those tournaments leading up to Wimbledon if they're
Yeah,
playing
that could
late
be
or
too.
something like
That could
that.
be
Yeah.
too.
I don't think it would go down that low, but you know, maybe some
Be a
extreme
night
thing
match when in England.
potentially. And now this is a nice fun video to end our video sharing on. Ready?
Yep,
Let me start it from the beginning. Who is that?
funny already.
All right, get a set shout out whoever that is. I don't know how that popped up, but must have clicked on it. Okay.
Slice. Mr. Roger Federer, why does it say fluid? That's an O and N for on. Well, Elmo knows his alphabet, and there's definitely a Q and a C. Trust me, Elmo, it's on. Well, Elmo loves you, Mr. Roger Federer, even if you don't know your alphabet yet. Looks like on, right? Yeah, Roger. And that's a slice.
So a little clip of Roger there with Elmo.
Well, I think it's cute anyways, because it's Roger with Elmo, but not as good as when Nadal and Roger were trying to do a commercial.
Oh yeah, we've got to do a reaction to that.
That's the funniest thing I've
I'll
ever
bring that
seen in
up
my
for the
life,
next episode. We'll watch that together.
for sure.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't do these questions because I did ask my following. So let's, if you have a few more minutes, can we knock out these questions?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm not going to say the names because I didn't say if I'd tell them or they'd be anonymous. So I'm just going to ask you the questions. First one. I'm 23 and have never, I'm coming from a guy.
Mhm.
I'm 23 and have never played much tennis. I have an athletic background Actually, not that it matters if it's a guy or a girl. But
Yeah.
I'm 23 and have never played much tennis. I have an athletic background and want to get better. How do get started? I think he meant how do I get started, but he said how do get started. What would you say to that?
Well, I'd say you've got to try to play tennis without some kind of instruction is very difficult, and you're gonna get steered wrong. You're gonna be hitting the ball up into the lights and over the fence and
Yeah, and bad habits.
bad habits. So I'd say sign up for some kind of an instructional program. If you can afford private lessons, that's good too, but there's all kinds of affordable ways to start your tennis, but with a legitimate program, with a decent instructor.
For sure. I'd exactly agree with that. The in addition to that, I would say don't skimp on a racket. Don't just go to Walmart or wherever and get or order on Amazon some basic racket because that's going to impact your enjoyment of the game. You don't have to get the most expensive racket, but you have to go get a legitimate racket. You can't just use some $60 racket if you're somewhat serious about getting better. You say you have an athletic background, so you're not, so you kind of know, sports and what it's like to perform in sports. You need a decent racket. So
I agree with that. You can
yeah,
get advice, go to a good racket shop. They'd be happy to give you advice
yeah,
on what to get started with. And like you said, it doesn't have to be a $300 racket. There's a lot
right.
of good rackets for $80 out there to get started, 80, $100.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. All right. The second question we got in, when did you guys start playing tennis?
Okay. I started as a table tennis player. I was at
I didn't know table tennis was before tennis, really.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, wow.
I was very good competitive table tennis player, the top in the country for my age group. And then, I continued along with it. So I started with that. And then I had an uncle who was a member of the Toronto Lawn Tennis Club, and he got me a membership there. And I started to play. I was about 11 years old, which is late for nowadays. And they train you much different much differently nowadays too. It's all progressive, different balls, smaller court, lower net. Um, but that's when I started, 11 years old.
And you'd know better than me, actually. I always say since I could walk, since I could whatever. You want to tell, when did I start, Dad?
Well, you weren't even 1 year old yet. And we had these little, like badminton type rackets,
Yeah,
and we would push the ball back and forth on the ground.
yeah.
And you were very good at it. In other words, I couldn't fool you. So I'd go one side, then the other, and I'd go back to the same size, and you were always there. Yeah, but it's always important to do something that you can do. So you
Yeah,
don't start, and that's going back to that progressive tennis. You don't want a ball that's going to bounce over your head. I mean, you want to do
yeah.
something that you're
And I haven't changed. I still like hunting down those balls, being tricked when we get out on the court. And I believe you still like trying to trick me.
for sure.
Yeah. All right. The next last question we have, I'll answer it first because it's directed to me, and then you give your answer.
Okay.
Who is the better player, you or your dad? Now, I would say if we were to play, I think I would win pretty easily if we were to play. I think I'm 23. Me playing you when you were 23, I think I would be lucky if I got a game off of you in each set.
Well, you're selling yourself a bit short. I think now, because of the huge age gap, um, you would win fairly
Yeah,
handily. We'd have to play some kind of game where you could only hit in half of the court.
right.
It might be a little different, but a legitimate game of tennis, as you should, you would
Of
win
course.
pretty
Yeah.
handily. I think if I were your age, I think I think I would win, but I don't think I would slaughter you.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I would just
Appreciate
be,
that.
yeah, I mean, but that was my style of game as well. I didn't slaughter people, but I would win.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we also have very different styles, right? You're very much more of a steady kind of player. I'm much more, I think, more aggressive than how you play.
Yeah, right. That's for sure.
Where I'm a little more erratic than you.
Mhm. I
I'm
was
more
very,
erratic, but I go for more. I'm a little
yeah,
more aggressive. Even at times I shouldn't be aggressive, but something in me, I've got
that's the difference. Like at 23, I would run everything down. Don't
right.
matter how aggressive. Of course, I'm not going to do that
So then
now.
that might work against you. Because how else am I going to beat you if I'm not aggressive, if you're running everything down?
That's a 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. And the styles have changed. You'd be coming up to the net a lot more too.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that's the bottom line is, yes, you would beat me quite handily today, but I think if I was your age, me at your age would beat you, but it wouldn't be a slaughter.
Okay. I appreciate that. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We really appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot to those who sent in questions. We'll be happy to um, get more if you want. If you want to leave questions or comments, we'll be happy to interact with you guys, answer those questions in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. I post stuff on Instagram, so if you want to follow Ultimate Tennis Academy on Instagram, that would be great. Any signing off note?
Yeah, just look forward to the new color Lacoste in Baseline Banter 4.
And look forward to maybe I'll pull off the Federer blazer for next episode. If Nike wants to send me that, I
No.
would definitely bring it. All right,
All
thanks
right, bye
everyone.
everybody.